Right. This is my final video for the day, and it's regarding this concept, which is an unjust concept, or the basis of this thing about calling people dirty, right? Calling people dirty, and the actions and the steps you are willing to go, right, from your particular religion, whatever religion it is, right, or caste or religion, right, the lengths people are willing to go because they view others as dirty or as polytheist, right? Which, in essence, to some means dirty naturally, right? Naturally, like you could literally now take a shower, and these people would refer to you, keep referring to you as dirty, right? In my case, it was a case of extreme lost these things on. So they were and still are sending nanotech particles, right, in all parts of all openings in my body, right, and along with voices, right. So so I'm gonna tell you how it works. The voices are placed upon the nanobots. They are connected to the nanobots, right. So each of these nanobots has a voice attached to it, right. So I don't know. I suspect they would have done this to people throughout the COVID experiment, or I don't know if I am a new experiment that I did this on, right. The voices are attached to the nanoparticles, right? And they are telling you that these are angels, right? They are telling you that these are angels, right? What I've experienced was nothing angelic, right? There has been no angelic experience with this situation with me, right? So it's been a complete situation of animalistic lust, but it was like, and it's like having sex with a robot or robotic or nanotechnology, right? And they're doing it straight up in your backside, straight doing it to your private parts, both back and front, your mouth, straight up in your throat, right? All these things with nanoparticles, right? And that is what I'm trying to stop, because it's a very, very evil and sinister thing. And I pray and hope that this thing is not happening to anybody else, right? This is just relaying the experience, right? The lengths people would go to try to justify their religion, along with my heart, or the veil that they try to place on my heart, or is still being placed on my heart, a veil, right? So they're placing a veil on your heart, right? And they're speaking about how dirty your heart is, and you're talking about very, very pure souls like me. I am willing to help anybody throughout my life, ask for assistance with anything I would do for anybody, right? So I'm explaining how this is happening, right? They're placing a veil on your heart, whatever it is, nanobot, veil or whatever, and then telling you how dirty your heart is. So they're inverting this, right? They are inverting who you are, right? They are inverting who you are, right, as a person. So you take a very pure person, place that veil upon the heart, right, through the nanobot technology or whatever, and then constantly reinforcing day and night, day and night, day and night, how dirty your heart is, right? Simply because you're not going along with what they want you to do, right? And it's very, very dirty things that they want you to do, right? And very, very dirty things that they are saying to you, very, very unintelligent and sinister and manipulative things that these voices are, right? And you are to not speak up about it. That's what they are saying, right? So I'm telling you how it's operating. The only thing that could help is speaking out about it, and I hope it doesn't reach a point where somebody else have to go through this bullshit, right, as another experiment, right? So they're placing a veil upon your heart, it's written on your car, and the lengths people will go to justify their belief systems, right? If I believe in not eating meat, right, I'm not going to burn the whole world down to justify my point, right? And this is the point I'm getting at, right? This is the point I'm getting at. I'm not going to use people as a test experiment to see whether vegetarianism is true or not, right? I am not going to do that. I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing, and whatever be the case, right? So you're placing a veil on pure people's heart, right? Regardless of what way of life it is, right? To use them as a test, knowing that that person is already a pure person, knowing that person is already a good person. Are you even serious about life? Do you even know what goodness is? Do you even know what righteousness is for people who are doing this shit, right? And it's a very, very manipulative, one, and two, seductive voices behind this thing. Just imagine this extremely seductive, like seductive pornographic voice, and they are pushing these nanoparticles up in your backside and being very raw and real about what has been going on with me, right? Because nobody has been taking me seriously about this thing. They are pushing these particles straight up in your ass. Last night it happened in a very, very, very terrible way. It was like a whole bunch of them, right? Straight up in my backside, right? And they're constantly doing it in my front as well, right? Along with it happening all along my body, my chest, all these things, right? This is not judgment, right? This is the man-made judgment being imposed upon me, right? When I've already been through the hurt I needed to go through, right, in my life, because throughout my life I experienced like instant karma throughout my life, right? I've experienced instant karma throughout my life. When I hurt others, I immediately got back the hurt, right? That's how my life has been operative, right? So whatever this was, to rope me into whatever this shit was, today is where it's going to end, right? Today is where that is going to end, right? Whoever is watching this, whoever is listening to this, today is where that is going to end, right? This is not your imagination, right? That is the fucking voice, right? It was in a video recorded, and that same voice, it was a very, very seductive voice. I can't even do it because I'm not that kind of person, right? Good. So it is not your imagination. It is not your imagination. Look up electronic harassment, look up nanotechnology, and look up how people use these things to force their bullshit on others. And it don't even have to be Islam as a thing, and that's why I'm making the extra effort to teach the Quran, right? That's why I'm making the extra effort to actually teach the Quran, because it doesn't even have to be Islam behind this, but it could be forces that are against Islam that are doing this, right? In order to turn people away from the religion, or either it could be Islam itself. And that's why I'm making the effort to teach the Quran, but teach it in a changed way, right? Or in my own version, right? Because I do not know who is behind it, right? It's it's forces, both male and female voice, right? Both male and female voices, right? So if anybody has been going through this, like, I would really appreciate if there's anybody who went through this, to connect with me, because this is not something normal, right? This is something very, very, and I watched a video earlier with somebody saying that by 2045, there will be like a AI takeover and all that. That is not going to happen, right? I will ensure that is not going to happen, and I will speak out about this. I will ensure that is not going to happen, right? That is by no way allowed by the universe. That will by no way, under no condition, under no circumstance, be allowed by the universe and by the creator of the universe, right? Good.